Something that's always bothered me about people who follow their favorite creators is the fact that they usually idolize the fact that they are in what they view as a perfect person. Somebody who that viewer dreams about being. A person who has no apparent flaws, no addictions, and no past problems that most of the viewers are dealing with on a regular basis.
I get a lot of emotional fulfillment out of changing people's minds.
And most of these creators, and nowadays most likely a streamer, because that's where the world's going to, try to pose themselves as a person who is always right. They think that they have the correct opinion no matter what they're looking at online while they're streaming live to their audience, trying to gain a one-up on their chatters who donated $5 just to get their opinion heard. And if that chatter's opinion challenges the creator's opinion in any sort of capacity, they just kick him to the side, putting the dunce cap on them and making that chatter feel like they're wrong just for having a different opinion because they're not the person that's on camera, the creator is. You may think we're talking about somebody like XQC, maybe Hassan, definitely not XQC. Is it Sniper Wolf? Is it Cutie Cinderella? Is it Jack's Films? Actually, I like Jack's Films. It's none of those people. Today, I'm talking about AsmondGold. You've probably heard about Asmond one way or another, maybe through somebody else's stream that's talking crap about him, or maybe you were recommended one of his 3-year-old Let's Play videos, you decided to watch it, and now your homepage is inundated with 3-hour-long Twitch political streams. And he's went from a creator who's spent the last 10 years in a rat hole streaming to his audience to now streaming in a moderately nice rat hole streaming to his audience. Am I a fan of the guy? Definitely. I'm definitely a fan of the guy. He knows how to work an audience and use the tools that he has at his disposal to actually make something of his life. Tools that everybody has at their disposal. You're not going to see me agree or disagree with everything Asmond does or says in his life, as everybody's entitled to have their own opinion in this world, and I think we're starting to forget that right now. What we are going to hone in on this video with is Asmond's crazy life. How he became a streamer, why he became a streamer, and what allowed him to have the opportunities he got to become a streamer. Spoiler alert, nothing allowed him. He just freaking did it, dude. He just sat down on World of Warcraft one day, started streaming, and said, I don't care what anybody thinks about my opinion. I'm gonna have my opinion regardless. And if you think he's wrong for that, you're just giving him more clout for it. Oh, I probably just lost 10 followers for saying that. Well, to that, I say, don't let the door hit you. You might have found out about him through him streaming games. You might have found out about him through him streaming other people streaming games.
I don't blame him, honestly. Like, the game's getting kind of boring.
You might have found out about his reviews covering game trailers, or maybe him covering game expos. You probably saw one of his 80+ videos of him milking the Amber Heard and Johnny Depp situation that happened a few years back. Maybe you agree with some of his political takes, or extremely disagree with some of his political takes. What I'm saying is the dude covers everything, whether that be a strategic move to farm the most views out of social media possible, or whatever the reason is, the dude covers everything and has covered something that you at one point have been interested in. And that's why he's so big and famous now. If you scroll down Asmond's feed, you'll see that he posts multiple times a day, multiple hour streams. It's because he has a great team of people behind him that constantly watches his videos, clips his stuff, and posts it immediately.
This has 1.5 million views. Well, it was uploaded 22 hours ago, which means that it was uploaded at about 2 p.m. yesterday. Well, I was live at 2 p.m. yesterday. So how could this video have been uploaded if I had just reacted to it? Well, it's because I have my editors doing it as well. And so that's the way that I have it. And then I also have another editor that's doing my YouTube shorts as well. And then I had another guy that was doing TikTok. And then the editor I have for my shorts, I don't think this is a problem for me to say, it's the same editor. I got the editor from Imaru, but I really think he's been doing a great job. So like right now, like we're at 23 million views. You know, you just keep working and you keep clocking in the hours, and then eventually things start working out. How much money do you make from YouTube per month? I'm going to give you an honest answer. I don't know.
It keeps the guy extremely relevant. He stays on the hot topic as he covers these things the same day or the next day. He gets those type of viewers that are extremely passionate about something, but only for the first week before they forget about it and move on to the next thing they get passionate about. It's a smart move, and I gotta say, the guy knows exactly what he's doing with his social medias. Because remember, that was just one channel, and the dude's got multiple channels across multiple accounts. When there inevitably is awards given out to streamers for their dedication that isn't the freaking streamer awards that is an absolute flop every year, Asmond's gonna be crowned at the very top, because for one, he's been making videos since 2014 and started streaming in 2016. That's almost 10 years, dude. A decade. Holy shit. That's freaking crazy, and the only way you can do something like that is to just be yourself, or you're gonna go crazy.
You think I'm above making content out of people's trauma? No, that's the whole reason I'm here. What do you expect?
In this security video from a Langley City Tim Hortons on Monday, a woman can be seen arguing with staff. Suddenly, she unties the sweater around her waist and pulls her pants partway down. The woman defecates on the floor. She then throws the feces at staff. She also throws soiled napkins in their direction.
She also throws soiled napkins in their direction. It's almost like that's exactly where the toxic YouTube voice came from like news stations. They were trying to just replicate their voice. The last thing you want in your Burger King burger is somebody's foot fungus.
The last thing you'd want in your Burger King burger is someone's foot fungus.
Enough about hilarious Tim Hortons lore. Back to AsmondGold. Now, if you don't know anything about AsmondGold going into this video, you're up for a wild ride. Like I said earlier, AsmondGold puts all of his negatives and positives of his streaming career right up on his YouTube channel for everybody to see. For those who are curious to figure it out, it is super obvious why Asmond had such a rise to fame, and we're gonna explore it. So without further ado, the AsmondGold Deep Dive.
He's right there. Oh God! Get him on me.
Hey guys, it's me, and today I want to answer a question that a lot of people have been asking me my whole life, and more importantly, they've been asking me a lot recently, especially online. Why are you like this? Whether it's the dead rat alarm clock, the barbecue puke shower curtain, dead animals in the house, or any other one of the stories that are just an indicator of me living like a complete animal.
The reason why so many big creators are where they're at today is because of video games for their start. Their passion for playing a game precedes their need for money in all aspects. Most of the time, a person's need for money causes so much stress that they turn to video games in order to escape that stress. That's including me, because over 800k followers and less than 5k views on my long form, that's I like playing Ark, and in so many ways, their love for the video game combined with their disdain to be normal just compiles to a perfect storm where they just get so many people relating to them that watch them. And for Asmond, he started blowing up because he decided to start posting his video game footage of WoW. Wow. But in all seriousness, World of Warcraft.
What's up, y'all? It's me. It's your boy AsmondGold. What's up, y'all? It's your boy AsmondGold. What's up, y'all? It's me. It's your boy AsmondGold. What's up, y'all? It's me. It's your boy AsmondGold.
Asmond started posting videos to YouTube regularly around 2014, and then in 2016 he decided to start streaming on Twitch, which he has said that the only reason he kept going with it, because it was just out of a whim of an idea to just start streaming, is because he got quite a bit of followers and quite a few donations, which then he was just like, you know what? Screw it. I'm just gonna keep going with this.
But like after I did my YouTube channel, like I remember I got like 1,000 or 2,000 subs, and I decided to do a stream on Twitch one day. And the first stream that I ever did, I got 250 viewers. Like a lot of people tuned in to watch the stream. And then like I even have a video of it 7 years ago. It's a 2-minute video. I'm still not sure how to feel about streaming, so we'll see how this goes.
What's up, y'all? It's me, it's your boy AsmondGold, and today I've kind of got a little bit of an announcement to make, is that I'm going to start streaming. Now, a lot of you guys may have seen me do some streaming last night. A lot of people are very happy about that. And hopefully we're going to continue that trend and do that again tonight. It's not going to be like right now, probably, because I'm just making this video. I'm going to put this right up on YouTube. No real editing whatsoever. But anyway, I kind of wanted to let you guys know, a lot of people want me to make a video whenever I'm starting to stream, and this is that video. And I did do it, as I said, a little bit last night. It was fun. But you know, we'll just kind of see how it goes. I don't really know how this is going to go. I streamed for a little while, like quite a while ago, and it went okay. I wasn't really that big of a fan of it.
And with the clips he's posted where he's just outwardly honest about his depression and the fact that he just did things because it was something to do, not because there was an end goal in mind, further solidifies people with the mindset that he has find success. They just continue on with it because they weren't looking for success to begin with, so it just happens to be a good outcome to come randomly.
I take medicine for it even. And like, I just stress out too much, I get upset too much, and I don't know how it happened,
right? Because it's like, how can I stress myself out about playing a video game? You know, and the truth is, like, I thought it was stupid too. And I hate myself for it. Honestly, I do. Like, how could I stress myself out about something that's so easy?
Despite Asmond getting his original YouTube channel to over 3.5 million followers, as well as his Twitch channel going to heights he never imagined, he ended up abandoning them. It's clear he never knew what he wanted while doing what he was doing, but the only thing that he knew felt good was growth on his social media channels. At the end of the day, when you take a look at it from a third-person perspective, it's clear that he just had no idea what to do with all of these followers, and he just liked the rush of going from zero to hero when it comes to all of the followers he was getting. And in my mind, when I look at it subjectively, it looks to me like the way he solved his depression that he was very forthright about, even though he tells you he has no idea how to fix it, is that he's instinctively fixing it, for one, because he likes the growth and he knows how to make channels grow, but for two, because in the back of his mind, I think personally, he just knows that he becomes a person that people can go to when they're feeling the way he does, to know that they're not alone. Whether that's true or not is for him to tell you, but in my opinion, I think that's why he does this with so much intent, even though he says there's no intent to what he's doing. I think the intent is the action. Like a lot of successful people say, in hindsight, happiness comes with the journey, not the end goal or the destination. This can be further proven with clips he posted where he just admits that he's gotten everything he wanted, yet still doesn't find any happiness in what he's received, even though you can clearly see him smiling every step of the way to his goals.
Whenever I was younger, other people wanted to be an astronaut, other people wanted to be a firefighter or whatever. What I wanted to be was nothing. I never wanted to do anything. I've had a very few amount of goals in my life. I don't want to work. I want to be I want to have a bunch of money so I don't have to do anything, right? Which basically Twitch, you know, living the dream. But listen, I've had goals in my life, right? And I've met every single one of those goals. Every goal, anything that I've ever wanted to do in my life, I've already done. And I ask myself all the time, like, what's the point even continuing? I never care. Like, I mean, I don't know. It's just weird.
Whoa, it's dark out now. I guess that's how long it took me to edit that last part about his Twitch and YouTube channels, which, by the way, I got YouTube and Twitch mixed up. It was his Twitch that he got to 3.5 million. Let's switch gears a little bit and focus on what he could have posted that made everybody so intrigued with what he was doing on camera. The things AsmondGold was posting, most people would say is either cringe or just too embarrassing to post themselves, but as Asmond said, he didn't care what people thought about him when he was streaming. The fact that this kind of stuff is what got him the most views at the time is probably something that he realized way down the road after he had so many subscribers come into his channel. The things AsmondGold would do on camera were that of things that so many people wouldn't do in their own life. Therefore, it was just so good to watch. Content, if you will. He was known for so many things, like letting a lot of animals or bugs build up in his house, keeping an insatiably dirty room almost as a skeptical because he was just so focused on making content, things that I even wouldn't let happen in my room. And this is coming from a guy who probably hasn't willingly folded his clothes in 5 years. I just have a clean and a dirty basket. What of it? But we'll get to most of the other things that Asmond does, like the dirty room, in a second, but I want to talk first about the rat situation. AsmondGold, or Zach, maybe I should have actually said that earlier in the video, his name's Zach. He had a rather difficult upbringing with some challenging circumstances that kept him in the same household for over 30 years.
I've lived in it my entire life, minus maybe 6 months when I was a baby.
Zach's first upload on his first YouTube channel, that's named Zach Roar, was called The Rat. Buckle your seatbelts, everybody. You're in for a legit YouTube roller coaster of lore. The video starts out with Zach testing the limits of the human body as teenagers do.
Yeah, I used to break things on my head all the time. I had a lot of practice. I built up a tolerance for it.
Zach and his friend then migrate into the house, where they give a good show of the state of the house in which it's in. There is shit everywhere, and right in the middle of the war zone, there is a rat.
It's one rat. We're not talking about 10 rats. It's one rat, probably 2 or 3. I don't have that many rats. I'm not petting them or anything, they're just there.
It absolutely blows my mind that this is the humble beginnings in which one of the most famous Twitch streamer has. People are just looking for authenticity, dude. And authenticity is what they got here. Zach then catches the rat in the box he's holding and takes it outside and throws it in the trash can. He did say in a recent video that he killed the rat, so humanitarian people out there, You can rest easy tonight. The rat's dead. Or
We killed it after the video.
Zach, judging by the movement of the rat, it was probably, you know, given something beforehand to eradicate it. But the mere fact that rats were normalized in his house and he so easily dealt with it says miles about it.
It's one rat.
You know the whole saying, rats breed like mice and mice breed like rats, and where there's one, there's many, and oh my gosh, there's probably so many that got away.
Big spider. It was like the size of my palm of my hand. It was in the kitchen, and I tried to cut it in half with a knife, and it got away, and I said, you know what? That's natural selection. I'll let him go. He's in the house now. He's still in the house right now. Yeah. He passed.
I know it's probably a joke, but I kind of believe it.
This is me.
It's one rat.
This video is sponsored by Veruic. Veruic? Anyways, this model is the T1116. It's a 1000 milliamp hour power bank that can charge your phone or pretty much whatever you got for a device. I personally charge my gaming headphones while I'm editing. This model comes with 7 different color variants: white, black, blue, green, yellow, pink, purple, and green. I obviously have the black version. I've been using it for about a month now before I decided to put it as an ad in a video. From charging it overnight while I sleep to coming in clutch when a friend or a family member needs a charge on their phone, this power bank hasn't let me down in any case that I've thrown at it so far, even when I've needed to charge multiple things at once. It's on their website for around 30 bucks, so if you like what you see, head on over there. If you didn't click away, thanks for that. Now back to the video. It's tomorrow now. So you're probably thinking, holy shit, that house was dirty in the rat video. Well, 13 years ago, Zach released a video called AsmondGold's Lair. It would have landed Zach around 22 years old, 6 years younger than me. What am I doing? No clout with a clean house. I gotta dirty this shit up, dude. Get some followers. It put on display Zach's entire life habits. How when a person is so focused on getting content out and nothing else, then everything around you can just go to absolute shit. Besides battling having some crazy responsibilities from his family at the time. It all accumulated, evolved into its final form shiny Pokemon hoarder lifestyle house.
That's molded over Coke. That's more molded over Coke. This one's one of my favorites here. I don't even know how long this has been here. That is the fucking battle station right there.
In 2017, 8 years ago, we got a slight update to the layer situation. I absolutely love the Gatorade bottle webcam stand. Probably something I would have used early on before stupidly spending $800 on a DJI gimbal that now equates to the most expensive stand ever for no reason.
I still got it. This is my original webcam stand.
The video starts and Zach says it's 8:30 in the morning and he's about to go to bed.
It's about 8:30 in the morning. I'm getting ready to go to bed. It's kind of hard to tell what's going on here because it's in the dark, but you guys can just kind of guess. That's kind of a mess. I got a monitor running the floor. That's my Wii. I got some Dr. Pepper. This is a whole thing, dude. I got Elgon early. Look at my shoes. Look at that. That's real nice. And so let's go ahead and take a look at the battle station right there.
The new layer video shows an extreme improvement over the last one. Although, I don't understand Americans' obsession with wearing shoes in the house. In Canada, most of us that's a big no. One time I made a friend in a store and I invited him over to my house and he was like, well, my feet stink, so I'm gonna have to wear my shoes in your house. I was like, do you want to ride home then? Zach shows a clear improvement over the last video to this one. Even though there's things on the floor, the carpet itself doesn't actually look that dirty. There's clearly less cups on the table, and he upgraded to an L-shaped table so that at least he's not inhaling all of the mold that was sitting in front of him in the last video right under his nose. And all around, he's just on a trajectory for it to just keep getting better over time. And that's the thing about improvement. Usually when people don't want to improve, they're going to improve slowly because they have to, but once they start feeling what it feels like to improve, they're going to start accelerating the rate in which they do improve. He does clearly still have stuff on the table that's molding, but at least there's lids on it, hopefully so it doesn't breach containment and send him to the hospital. And the dude's still streaming now and bigger than ever, so it clearly didn't send him to the hospital. Or did it? Continuing the saga, Asmond releases a day in the life video in 2022, 3 years ago, taking you on a journey through when he eats, when he sleeps, giving you a deep look into what a true millionaire lifestyle actually looks like. At least I hope that's not what millionaire lifestyles are like. The dude has Reese's for breakfast. If this is true, I have no idea how Asmond actually functions.
I want to have my first breakfast, and we're going to get one of these here. There we go. We got ourselves a Reese's peanut butter treat. And now the next thing that I usually do, this is in my house here, is we go and we feed the birds. Do you think they deserve to be fed today? She says yes.
You would think that because he's feeding his birds whole grains that he would do the same for himself. Nope. He drives straight to Wendy's. A little Wendy's here and there, it's not that bad for you, fast food like once a week, but at the rate that Asmond actually consumes fast food, it is doing a detrimentally bad thing for his health. He then proceeds to sit at his computer chair for an extended period of time, like probably half of the day, doing what he does best. And there's a lot of discourse of people saying that this is what leads to obesity. But Asmond has said he doesn't eat any more than he needs to. And just like my cat, her food bowl is always full, yet she stays skinny because she goes there when she's hungry and she stops when she's full. And I've been saying this for years, it's not fast food that makes people obese, it's the literal things that make fast food comforting that make people obese. And in Asmond's case, it's just a way for him to spend less time cooking. So it makes sense.
Now I get to be on the computer for like the next 12 hours. It's gonna be great.
A good while after Zach posted that video, he released another video talking about why he doesn't drink or smoke drugs. And I mean, that's a pretty good thing. Could be partly the reason why he's so dedicated to his craft all the time.
Today, I want to talk to you all about why I don't smoke, why I don't do any recreational drugs, and why I don't drink. I don't do any of that stuff. I never have, and I never will.
In the video, he talks about from such a young age when he watched all of his friends spending money on drugs and alcohol and other things that he would decide to spend those dollars on video games. Boy, if he realized how good he was setting himself up for the future.
At the very early stages, right, back in middle school, whenever I first had some of my friends drinking and smoking weed, maybe doing a few other drugs too, but mostly just like, the casual middle school, early high school stuff. Why I didn't do it then, pretty fucking simple. I could spend $30 on weed, or I could spend $30 on a video game.
He was also worried that if he would try some of those things as a kid, that he would get very addicted to them in the future.
Whenever I was a little kid, this might sound kind of crazy, but whenever I was a little kid, I always expected that I would grow up and be a drug addict. Because, watch the streams, or not streams, watch, movies and stuff, and it's like, yeah, that'd probably be me. I'm kind of like a crazy guy, and these crazy guys doing these drugs, yeah, I could do that. And then I got older, and I realized that they were expensive, and I changed my mind. I was able to watch all my friends who could afford it go through drugs, and then go through rehab, and then get out of rehab, then get back into drugs, and go to jail. Then get out of jail, then get back into drugs, and then sometimes die.
He also admitted how his lifestyle isn't the lifestyle to go towards either. He has some habits that he wants to fix, but he just doesn't think that one extreme or the other extreme is good in any way.
I do not live the healthiest life. I live like an animal. I've always lived like an animal. I do not treat my body like a temple. I treat it like a zoo. And I've always done things like this. But there are certain things and certain risks that I'm willing to take, and others that I am not. I figure that, I've got a pretty bad diet. I drink a lot of soda, which caffeine is technically a drug too. I know that there are a lot of people that get defensive whenever I make a video like this, and they'll bring that up. Don't worry, I'm fully aware.
He goes back and forth and ultimately tries to justify the other things he does negatively in his life by saying that he doesn't do any drugs or drink at all. But, personally, I think that anything and everything in moderation when it comes to drugs and alcohol is probably going to be a lot healthier than, just not showering at all and saying, okay, well, I could do that because I don't drink and do drugs. It's like, unless you're like me with a horseshoe kidney when you really, really just can't drink. And even in my situation where I can't drink because of my horseshoe kidney, I decided that because of that in my younger years, that gave me a ticket to smoke as much weed as I want. And now I'm 28 and I haven't gotten everything that I want to have lined up in life lined up. And I think that, if I would have moderated my smoking weed a lot harder, I would have actually had a lot more things in line in life now than I do. Not saying that I'm not doing well. I'm just saying I haven't lived up to my entire full potential, and I do blame that on weed quite a bit, because there is plenty of times in the past 10 years where I was like, you know what? I think that I'm just gonna have a hoot and go to bed. When in reality, I could have just continued to work. So like, there's a little bit of truth in what he's saying. There's a little bit of truth in what he's not saying. I just think that everything in moderation is good to make sure that you don't slip in life.
Dinner time!
Votes, we have to ask ourselves, what did they get us? They got us a country where we fought many wars over the last 40 years, but haven't won a war about as long as I've been alive. They've got us a military with a major
Not my age.
crisis, a procurement.
Give me 1 second. Okay.
You see a fine there.
No.
And now, back to work.
The point is that I do some unhealthy things as well. Let's keep that to as much of a minimum as possible.
It's all fine and dandy if you want to pull yourself back from doing those type of things because you know that you would get addicted. But there's something to be said about being addicted to things like not showering for a month, which he stated he did in a video.
Hey guys, it's me again. And last night I ended what happened to be the longest streak that I've ever had of not taking a shower. About a month and a half.
Not showering for a week is freaking crazy. I don't think I've went 1 day without having some sort of water run over my body. I go to Shambhala Music Festival every single year, and even though there's really little access to showers, I still go for a dunk in the river. So, I mean, what's his reasoning for this? It makes no sense. I mean, don't you like being warm? Don't you like having, like, you know, not being smelly? He does give some reasoning, and we'll figure that out in a second, but, I mean, I don't think there's any good reasoning for this. It's just cope. Whether that cope is good for Asmond, it probably is, but for the general public, it's absolutely horrible advice to give anybody. He justifies the month break of showering because he said he took a month break off streaming. Said he didn't want his hair to look more bald. And I've heard a lot of cope from people about why they shouldn't shower. It's unhealthy, it takes away the natural greases, it causes dandruff. Just go to the doctor, get something that'll help with that, instead of trying to take it in your own hands and being a ghoul.
There were a number of reasons why I take showers. I think one of the big reasons is so I don't look bald whenever I'm streaming, but I'm not streaming right now, so I'm pretty much good. Now, the reason I broke this streak, as you guys can see, my hair is, well, I still do look bald, but this is about as good as it gets.
Zach did make a post about 6 months ago covering another streamer who went over his shower routine. And although he does say that he showers more now because he did suffer the consequences of going an entire 3.5 months without showering, he does make it clear that he would rather find out the hard way of some of the things that, you know, are readily available on the internet instead of just, you know, Googling it and finding out from a professional in the trade that these are the things that are going to happen to you if you don't, you know, shower for 3.5 months.
But what happened is that, like, on my chest, I was actually developing scales. And I noticed it because I touched my chest and I realized that I couldn't even feel my own fingers. And I realized that I was actually evolving. And I had to, that's whenever I nerfed myself and I started showering again. I did. Like, there were actual scales and, like, armor that was being built up on my skin.
Zach, my man, that's not a discovery. It's called phenotypic plasticity. It's what your body naturally does when its environment gives it stresses that it needs to build up an immunity to. They're not normal things it needs to do, but it's what you make it have to do, further confirming that what you do isn't normal or what your body wants, or what you should be doing to your body, bro. Yeah.
I thought that I had to be somewhere today, but apparently I don't have to be there. So I pretty much showered for nothing, and I ruined, you know, what turned out to be a pretty good thing.
Again, not a good thing. The reason why you think you plateaued and stopped smelling yourself is because of something called olfactory adaptation. It's the same reason why other streamers in your house had to leave very early on in the visit, because they weren't used to those smells, which were very pungent and intense smells. Otherwise, they would have been able to handle it.
It's cool because, like, the more I breathe air in here, it makes me feel, like, slightly sicker.
It's the same reason why people who wear a lot of perfume, other people tend to think that they're washing themselves in it, but they can't notice it. It's because their olfactory receptors become immune to it so that they detect other smells that might be dangerous in their environment. It's literally a defense mechanism your body has so that it can stay safe. Stop coping. Take a shower, bro. Clean your room. Stay clean. It's for you. He then describes in the video how he eventually got a girlfriend, which surprised him, but what really surprised him was the amount of work that she wanted him to do in taking 3 showers a week and doing some laundry to keep himself clean for her. You know, because when you have a significant other, it requires you to not only respect yourself, but respect yourself out of respect for somebody else. And it's funny because, you know, no weed addiction, no alcohol addiction, no drug addiction whatsoever. But I think in Asmond's case, the drug in itself is not cleaning, because he actually says in this video that he doesn't think he has a problem, which echoes a lot of what alcoholics and drug addicts say when they do have a problem.
And later on, I got a girlfriend, which is, you know, as much of a surprise to you as it was to, you know, probably me as well. I guess my parents were just happy that, you know, I was doing something. But regardless, I got a girlfriend, and she was not particularly happy with this designated showering days thing. And she pretty much insisted that I move it up to about 3 or so, and that was... Ooh, that was a lot of work. You gotta change your clothes after you shower. That means you gotta do laundry. If you gotta do laundry, that means you gotta pick the clothes up off the floor. It's a lot of work. You gotta deal with it. And I've been on the schedule of basically for the past like 6 months or so. I think I said this in my last video. I don't know if I did or not. I would just every month or so go to Target and buy a new pair of sweatpants. And I've been doing this for about 6 months now. So that's about 5 pairs of sweatpants that I've been wearing over the past 6 months. So I haven't really been doing a lot of laundry. That's really what I'm trying to say. And what's happened with that is that, you know, I had to shower regularly and deal with that. It was too much like being a normal person. And I don't really know what's wrong with me. I don't really think there's anything wrong with me.
Now, don't get me wrong. I think he's an hilarious streaming personality. Love the guy. I think there's a lot going for him, and he realizes that. I just think there's a lot of parallels that could be drawn between a drug addict being in denial and him being in denial about taking showers and keeping his body clean. But moving on. Now, there's a big difference between living healthy and eating healthy. Sometimes they can't even be correlated. You can have somebody who goes and eats fast food regularly but holds a clean house. But as we've saw, Asmond had rats, he had cockroaches, and even probably millions of ants.
I got rid of all these. I got a vacuum and I vacuumed them all up. They're gone. There's no more ants.
Oh man, I have the odd little gnat flying around because maybe I leave a bowl of soup out, but I always clean it the next day, as to where Asmond, I can't even imagine how many bugs and stuff were in his house at one point. When bugs and cockroaches and other rodents start making home in your house, that's when an eye-opening moment needs to happen and things need to change. Also, in a story that he told the Trainwrecks crew, for months he left puke in his shower. It started to mold and to his nose started smelling like barbecue sauce. Yeah.
I threw up in my my bathtub one time, and it was there for about a few months, and my mom finally cleaned it up. And a few years after that, I kept going in there, and I'd always smell this very strong scent of hickory smoked barbecue. And I thought this was just the best thing ever. Oh. And I cleaned all this stuff, so I never thought anything. And then we replaced the shower curtain, and I saw at the bottom of the shower curtain was melted with rotten puke. And the puke had oxidized to the point where it smelled like barbecue. And I almost didn't really want to get rid of the shower curtain.
So that is absolutely freaking deplorably disgusting. And well, obviously the man just his nose doesn't work. His nose doesn't work. I mean, obviously the smells are around, but he just doesn't smell them.
I have no real sense of smell. I can only smell a few things. I can smell dead animals, and I can smell primarily dead animals. I can smell soda. Yeah, I can smell the types of soda. Yeah. Maybe steak, a little bit like that. Yeah, other than that, I don't really have any sense of smell.
Like I said, that's his olfactory adaptation doing work, so things like a gas leak he'd be able to notice and save his own life. But Asmond, if you were to just, I don't know, pay a housekeeper to like clean your house for 2 months straight while you stream, then you would probably gain your smell back, and you'd be able to make a video where you gain your smell back. You get one of your senses back. You'd be able to make one of those crazy videos where you can see sounds and hear colors, and all of a sudden you get so many views from that video that the AdSense pays for the house cleaner. Come on, do it for science. Zach's sense of smell was actually so bad that for a good while, he was able to use a dead rat as an alarm clock as it heated up under his bed in the morning. Kinda like how I have a skunk spraying thing that allows me to wake up in the I'm just kidding. I don't do that. Could you imagine though? I don't even think an automatic skunk sprayer would work for Asmond. He would need the dead rat, so obviously it was needed.
The thing is, I used to use a dead rat as an alarm clock, actually, for my stream. Because basically what happened was, whenever the sun would come up, it would start cooking the corpse of the rat, and then it would start smelling again, and then the smell would wake me up. So I would use the rat effectively as an alarm clock, and as soon as it, you know, it got hot enough, it would wake me up, and then I would know, oh shit, it's time to stream. Have you guys ever done that before?
Have you guys ever done that before? I mean, as a kid, I used to eat oranges and throw them behind the headboard, and then like a week later, my mom used to find them and give me crap, but never a rat.
What happened is that a rat got in there and it died. And so I was like, man, this smells really bad. We've got to deal with this problem with the dead rat in that room. So I closed the door. And that was pretty much about it.
That's awesome.
Yeah, so I didn't go in the room anymore. So anyway, I go back. This is like 5 or 6 years later. I'm going to clean up this room. And I actually did. It was like, I felt like Hercules, like cleaning the stables, right? It was like commanded by Zeus. And like there was just so much shit in there. It was insane. It took me a week to clean this out. There was like a big, there's like a stain on the floor. And so I put a rug over it. And everything's fine now. So yeah.
So far, we've covered his eating habits, his sleeping habits, his living situation. You would be remiss to think that the man brushes his teeth on a daily basis. Well, he has pretty good teeth nowadays, but it wasn't always like that. In an old video Zach posted, he gave some members from the OTK a walkthrough of his house. They went through his living room, his kitchen, his bathroom, and his old bedroom, where they found a bloody wall. Now, how did this bloody wall get there, may you ask? Well, when he was around 21 or 22 years old, I'm not really sure how old he was at the time, his teeth hurt so bad, he didn't brush at all, and he ended up wiping the blood from his teeth on the wall instead of getting up or using paper towel or toilet paper to wipe his blood on instead, or not letting his teeth get that bad. It got so bad, apparently, that he actually broke his teeth on a piece of pizza. I don't know if that's a testament to how bad the teeth were or how badly cooked the pizza was. Either or, he went into the bathroom while midstream and pulled it out with a pair of pliers so that he could go back and finish the raid, to which, I guess, they successfully did.
I used to be an animal, a degenerate, and a fiend. One time, I broke my tooth eating a pizza at Sam's Club, and I had to raid lead the Lich King Heroic. And the shard of the tooth that was still there was stabbing my tongue. And I went downstairs on the break for the raid, and I got a pair of pliers, and I broke that piece of my tooth off with pliers in my bathroom.
That's like plus 1,000 gamer score, if you ask me, dude.
And I still have the pliers in my bathroom. I took the pliers and I just like crushed it. And then that pretty much solved the problem. I came back and we raid-led and killed the boss, by the way. And I have Invincible now.
Hearing that just reminds me of the scene where, like, in Castaway, when he takes a figure skate and a rock and removes his wisdom tooth. I bet you it would look just like that. It's like, apparently when he was 28 years old, he was down to single-digit teeth in his mouth.
I actually think that my face got a lot thinner whenever I was like I'd say like 21 to like 28 or so, because I lost all my teeth. But then, you know, now my face is probably about the same as it was like whenever I was younger, like even younger, like 16 or 17, because like I got the teeth replaced. So like, you know, those muscles are in my face again.
At the end of the day, it really just does seem like Zach did find a way to have his problems fix themselves, at least in his teeth's perspective. Since he has a mouthful of veneers now and his smile's back to the way it was. He is living proof that even if you grow up thinking that there is nowhere you can fit, that if you try hard enough at the thing that you love most, you will fit in life. At the beginning of this video, I said I was his fan, and then I also just went on a huge hit piece on him, but it wasn't a hit piece. I just think that sometimes you just call it out for what it is. And I gotta give him credit. He knows exactly where he's at. He knows the things he's done wrong in life. I just think that sometimes he needs to stop justifying it and just fix it. Or maybe if he fixed it, then he would suddenly lose all his popularity. I don't know. I don't think so. I watch him because I love his opinions. Knowing what I know now about his crazy past, I think it's absolutely crazy. It does add to the lore of AsmondGold, but it in no way was the reason I started following him, and I'm just now finding this out after consuming hours upon hours upon. I've consumed a lot of his content. One thing I'll say about Asmond is that when I'm watching things that he's watching, he'll just pause and he'll just bring up things that I never even thought to look at that way. A lot of it's intellectual, a lot of it's just bloat, but at the end of the day, he brings up things that don't cross my mind, and that's what I like about him. That way, when I watch something, I can see it through the lens of a couple people's perspectives. I feel like because Asmond's given his 2 cents in so many avenues in life, he has a lot to pull from the old noggin. So regardless of how a lot of people think that his opinions are wrong, or they judge him for all of his opinions based on one that they disagree with, if you just look at the guy through an open lens, he actually has a lot of correct things to say about the world. Now, there's something to be said sometimes about how people's weight or their habits are completely out of their control, but for Asmond, it's all in his control. And I'd like to say that the criticisms he received over the years played a big role in him slowly deciding to change some of these things that were so detrimental to his health to begin with. As you can see, he's living a better life, he's living in a cleaner environment than he was when he first started streaming, and overall, I think the bullying did him some good. I'm not condoning bullying whatsoever, but in some cases, I think the hard truth is what actually hits the hardest, obviously. Now, it's crazy because he doesn't spend very much of his money. He says he only spends like maybe 1% of his wealth, and the rest he just saves and invests. Maybe one day he's just gonna prestige and have like the craziest mansion and the nicest background, but we'll see. Probably not. I think maybe what he should do is upgrade to a water cooler and, you know, keep fresh water beside him so that maybe he doesn't have to get up and go get it. But that's besides the point. In an interview, someone asks him why he doesn't just spend another percent of his money, because it could completely change his life.
I probably spend less than 1% of what I make. And I don't really spend any money for any reason unless it's eating food. Unless it's something that's like related to my job.
Do you think that's irresponsible?
What?
Like, do you think spending that little is... Okay, because you could spend 2% of the money you make.
And then what would it do?
Living like you have no money, it's only bad when you have no money. But when you can make the slight improvements and still donate a bunch to charity and invest a whole bunch, you probably should do that. You know, I'm not saying buy a whole new house, but like get some new pillows. An electric toothbrush. Maybe invest in a housekeeper so that they can clean up after you and you slowly get your smell back. I think going outside would be a lot easier if he could smell the roses, right? He could upgrade his showers to one of those showers that have all the spray heads right down the wall, so all he has to do is go in there, lift his arms up, and just spin. I mean, there's plenty of things he could do that would counteract his excuses where, like, showers take too long.
Invest in a good mattress.
I have slept on this bed for 25 years.
Yep. And I feel like that bed has got to be fucking gross.
I don't know about that. I feel like it's nice. I like the bed.
Get some maids, clean the house, right? Upgrade your showers to where showering is easier. Like, I'm getting a waterhead shower because I spend way too long because I'm a big guy and I just want it to fucking be done with. So waterhead, get me fucking soaked in seconds.
Yeah.
Like I do your mom.
I just feel like him saying he loves his bed, but then in the same sentence saying that he's had the same bed for 25 years. How do you know you love your bed? I feel like that's impossible to know if you love your bed. Who knows if he's just lived this whole life because he feels like he's had to for so long that now that he doesn't have to, he uses these excuses he had before where it was inconvenient or too time consuming when he can upgrade to things that don't take much time. I mean, he's so good at WoW, he could probably learn how to shower quickly. What he does, how he lives his life, what he eats, it doesn't affect us, so we shouldn't be too damn critical. This is more of a what the hell video than a critique video. It fascinated me, so I wanted to show you guys because I think it would fascinate a lot of people, because so many people are so adamant and pressured to keep themselves and their house super clean that it's just as skeptical to see somebody who just does not give a except for streaming. he gives a shit about streaming. A lot. He gives more shit about his streaming than I do about editing videos. That being said, I hope things only go up for him when it comes to his self-care. I hope that he does continuously get cleaner. It seems like he's on an upward trend of cleanness. And like his stinkiness, it probably is going to plateau and stay the same, but it's a lot better than it was before. There's also a few videos he posted about his life that I don't feel like adding in. They feel a little bit too personal and they probably hit a little too hard home for him. I don't think any of us have business critiquing those videos. They also raise light on some of the reasons why he did live the reason he lived, but like I said, those are videos for him to touch on, not for other people to touch on, so we're gonna leave those where they are. So much cat hair on my hand. Either way, it'd be cool if he watched this video, even though I know he probably won't watch this video, even though I have 800,000 followers. Those are from shorts, so I'm basically starting from the bottom. Right now I'm here. But regardless, making this video was super fun, and I hope that you guys gained some knowledge, and if not, I hope that you had a good laugh rehatching some of the old videos that you forgot. Either way, if you enjoyed the video, please leave a like, and if you want to see more content like this, leave it on the comments, tell me what you want to see next, and subscribe, why don't you? I mean, it helps me, and help is good. Anyways, thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video. That's a rat. I mean, that's a wrap.
It's one rat.